If you dig far enough underneath all the garbage, there is a great game. This sentence is a microcosm of what became of GTA 5. What is unsurprising is just how successful this game has become. What is unfortunate is what has fueled this success. In 2017, there is nothing at all unique about what GTA 5 is, but in 2013, when the game released, the medium was in a far different place. Open world games had yet to reach the point of oversaturation. The biggest controversy that game publishers would find themselves involved in was almost always centered around downgrades, and microtransactions had yet to begin spreading throughout all of AAA gaming. A loot box was still a novel idea. And then GTA 5 would release and take the gaming world by storm. GTA Online was not present at all. All that existed at launch was a single-player, open-world experience that Rockstar had become known for. It presented interesting ideas like a suite of 3 main playable characters and one of the most lived-in open worlds that gamers had ever been afforded the opportunity to exist within. Promises of single-player DLC were made. The future looked bright for not only the game, but Rockstar and its fans. And a few months later, GTA Online would drop, and it would single-handedly change the future of Rockstar Games and the entire industry in one fell swoop. It took what already felt like a complete and cohesive package and shifted its focus, its developers' focus, its publishers' focus, and left us with a game that is both simultaneously phenomenal and atrocious. Today we examine one of the most important games of the past decade and the legacy it's creating. Today we're going to dissect GTA 5 by working our way backwards. We're going to first dig through all of the trash that's piled on top of this game to hopefully get to what actually makes this game good underneath all of the garbage. We're also going to look at how GTA 5 is affecting the industry as a whole, how GTA Online is affecting Rockstar in very real ways, and how it's going to and may already have affected Red Dead Redemption 2. But to get started, let's take a look at what makes GTA 5 such a problem in its current state.
Quagmire? Hey, nobody's seen you in days.
Hey, Peter. I've just been, checking out some of that internet.
The biggest and most immediate fault with GTA 5 is a massive, far-reaching fault. GTA 5's launch was a phenomenal success, but GTA Online's brought with it what some people called fear-mongering. There was an outspoken few who believed after getting their hands on GTA Online pre-launch that the game's economy was going to be bad for gaming. Those people were brushed aside, but some of them would say things like, "Why is GTA Online being built like this? I couldn't imagine Call of Duty or Battlefield operating in the same ways." What they were referring to is microtransactions, and just 4 years later, those people now look like prophets. This is because GTA Online was one, if not the first AAA $60 console game to build a core experience around an in-game economy that built its foundation on the real-world dollars of its players. Like it or not, the game was breaking new ground. Unfortunately, they broke that ground directly over hell. GTA Online is filled with microtransactions. They are the entire core of this game's experience, and they prey on the casual gamer, the gamer that doesn't play but 1 or 2 games each year, the gamer that doesn't care about the rest of the industry or why these progression systems exist the way they do, and it succeeds. The game has managed to create capitalism within a game, but only brought with it the bad and left behind the good. The game caters to the players that are willing to open their wallets in a very real way. The game is built around prestige, around the goal of being the richest, having the nicest car, the private jet, the crazy penthouse. GTA Online preys on wealth fantasies, and in turn caters to these fantasies for those willing to spend the money. An incredible bout of irony. Sure, you could play the game and earn the currency the hard way, but Rockstar has made this a serious grind. Let's use a relatively recent expansion for perspective. Instead of offering normal flat rate prices for what's included in these updates or expansions, say $10 per update or expansion, Rockstar wants you to earn them or buy them. The Smuggler's Run update was about planes. These planes were cool, they were unique in not only style, but gameplay. And they were expensive, and people were pissed. Some of the planes would take days of grinding out currency to obtain. Why? Because some of them were priced at a number that equates to about 50 real-world dollars worth of microtransactions. $50 for one plane in a video game. Items that would normally be a part of your gameplay experience, items that would normally be a part of a DLC package, were now a part of a nickel and diming process that hit every player that played the game. Get good, some people said to the upset players, but here's a reasonable retort to that statement. Not every gamer has 60 hours a week to devote to a video game. Not every gamer has enough time to grind into the echelons of the wealthy within GTA Online. The group of people that keep getting richer because, well, they're already rich. And instead of affording everyone equal opportunities to enjoy everything these updates in the game has to offer for a reasonable price or time investment, the game exploits its players at every turn. But oh well, you say, just don't play GTA Online. Well, that's a fair point. However, playing it is not the true crux of this issue. It's the way that GTA Online and Rockstar have acted as tastemakers for the rest of the industry. It's the effect that GTA Online and these predatory systems have had on Rockstar as a whole. They've brought Rockstar, according to publicly available legal documentation, over $500 million alone, and that number has more than likely ballooned since. And here are direct quotes as to what they've had to say about it. Every one of our games from here on out will have microtransactions. We didn't make single-player DLC because we were focused on GTA Online. We still think we can do even more with microtransactions in the future. And the worst part is the biggest problem is, unlike EA, WB, Ubisoft, gamers refuse to hold Rockstar accountable for their part in the shift to these types of monetization systems within the industry. They get off relatively scot-free despite being a primary source of the continued shift within the medium. So why is that? Well, that takes us to the game's second primary problem.
Stupid army, searching for me with that giant helicopter in the distance.
It's not giant and it's not in the distance. It's small and it's in our room.
It's important that something be made abundantly clear right off the bat. What is about to be discussed certainly does not apply to everyone, but does apply to the majority of the GTA Online community. GTA Online at its core is not a good game. In fact, there's a relatively cogent argument to be made that GTA Online is borderline terrible as a game. It gets one thing very right that's carried over from its single-player counterpart. It's got a beautiful and enjoyable sandbox to create and screw around with your friends. And if you only play GTA Online with your friends, this would be pretty great, but good games aren't good conditionally, and GTA Online has very strict conditions that need to be met to be called anything but poor. This is due to two reasons. The first is the actual gameplay found within. Things like death matches are fine, but the third-person gunplay makes frantic matches sometimes feel like a bit of a chore. Races are fun, but the driving mechanics aren't exactly the finest example found within gaming. The same could be said for planes and even heist, which are the lone true bright spot in GTA Online. Everything is just fine, fun for a little and a nice distraction. What denigrates and destroys these things is a community and culture that GTA's prestige-driven community fosters. Playing GTA Online by yourself can be miserable. Griefing, trolling is a huge problem within GTA Online, and you are not on a level playing field with the people that do spend their hard-earned money in the game. GTA Online can feel very pay to enjoy, and that may just be worse than pay to win. Doing anything without having to put yourself in passive mode, arguably defeating a bit of the purpose of the open world gameplay, can be daunting and nearly impossible, especially when starting out. Players are richer than you, better equipped than you, and you are but a peasant with a large hill to climb where the rich are trying to keep you from joining their ranks. Why is this? Well, this brings us back to the aforementioned problem about microtransactions, and the reason that Rockstar seemingly gets away with it. A good majority of the people that play GTA Online are, for the most part, not your average well-connected member of the gaming community. 33.8 million people have become members of the GTA Online community. This is a number that is astounding, but also represents a good majority of the casual consumer base or casual gamer. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with this, except for the community it has now started to foster. GTA 5 is filled with people that aren't necessarily looking for a quality gameplay experience, but play the game just to be toxic, just to grief people, just because it's cool, just because their friends play it. This is great to an extent, the more the merrier when it comes to a growing medium, but this community has become defined by outspoken kids, angry people, toxic behavior, griefing. It's become defined by people you normally wouldn't play a game with, but now can't avoid. The game is like an 8 a.m. class. You know you should go because in the end you might get something out of it. It might be worth it, but sitting through 2 hours of crap pains you in the moment. And this makes GTA Online a flawed and nearly completely unenjoyable experience for a lot of gamers. It's adequate gameplay wrapped in a toxic screaming foil, which is a shame because this is what has come to define GTA 5 and even the entire franchise to most consumers and those that don't buy more than 1 or 2 games a year. This is what GTA is to them now. But GTA 5 is also teaching the industry lessons that are much better for the game, that companies should take note of moving forward, specifically in how to handle an open world. The open world genre of games has certainly become oversaturated. In the span of half a console generation, the medium went from 1 or 2 novel open world releases a year to 1 or 2 linear AAA releases a year. But GTA 5, its main single-player experience, is a shining beacon of light poking out of the mess this subgenre has become in one way in particular: the actual open world of Los Santos. What Rockstar created with Los Santos should be heralded as a true achievement. This fictional, satirized version of LA, the Valley, and its relatively adjacent deserts, is one of the most interesting, well-fleshed out, vibrant, and alive game worlds that we've ever seen. Play GTA 5 on max settings on PC, and it is unreal that this game exists. The world covers a lot of ground within the limitations of modern gaming map sizes. You can go from neighborhoods filled with public housing to the game's version of Beverly Hills out to the pier, and it all flows seamlessly. It feels immersive, and that's so incredibly important because it provides the game with an element of the all sought after escapism, the feeling of living or being somewhere else. There are police AI chasing down criminals on their own, muggings, car accidents, traffic, barbers, chain retailers. Los Santos is as real as you want it to be. It's allowed the game to have a life outside of the machinations created by Rockstar. Mods that let you play as an officer of the law or exist as an ambulance driver. Radio that's both on point in terms of music selection but hilarious in its satire as well. It all feels like it was designed and implemented simultaneously. Many open world games feel as though they were pieced together one at a time because for all intents and purposes, they are. The recent Agents of Mayhem feels a bit like this, jarring shifts in aesthetics from one part of the map to the other that don't flow together in a real way. Los Santos does not in any way suffer from this problem, and it's packed with genuinely interesting side content and gameplay activities. Plane trials and single player are a blast, the paparazzi side missions with Franklin are immensely entertaining, and the characters you meet, including the three main characters, are extremely sociopathic versions of people that are enjoyable as all hell to be around. This elevates Los Santos and even parts of GTA Online beyond what's available in other open world games. Now, there are worlds that are arguably just as interesting. Watch Dogs 2, regardless of what you think of the game itself, has an incredible version of San Francisco to be explored, but GTA 5 in Los Santos managed to make everything you do in this world, at least in single player, an absolute joy. The story is off the walls but a blast. In its set pieces, its heist, GTA 5 proper is pure fun. That's the most disappointing thing about GTA 5 and GTA Online. Rockstar has openly stated that GTA Online has done much to shift their perspective as to how they make games moving forward. So many gamers buy GTA for online and never experience the true meat, the true quality that the base game has to offer. GTA 5's single player experience is phenomenal in so many ways, but unfortunately, gamers may not see it again with the next release. Why? Because Rockstar's future is changing right before our eyes.
What happened to you, man? Used to be cool.
I'm still cool.
Nah, you've changed, man.
We aim to have recurrent consumer spending opportunities for every title that we put out at this company moving forward. This is a quote from an investors meeting made by one of the heads of GTA's publisher, 2K. One of the things we've learned is that if we create a robust opportunity and a robust world in which people can play delightfully in a bigger and bigger way, that they will keep coming back, they will engage, and there is an opportunity to monetize that engagement. Same meeting, same person, scarier quote. 2K is convinced, and this is another direct quote, that the medium is still under-monetizing their products. Let that sink in. In 2017, the head of 2K, the publisher behind Rockstar's releases, still believes that AAA games are being under-monetized. How did this feeling come to fruition? Because forcing players to grind to appreciate updates or spend money that is disproportionate to what they're receiving in a game has served them very well for 4 years. So what does this mean for Rockstar and for gaming moving forward? Well, the first is a reality that has already come to pass. We will not see single player or even any real substantial DLC for GTA 5 or even GTA 6 and so on and so forth. That simply isn't where their focus lies. Which is a shame because Rockstar is responsible for some of the greatest single player expansions ever created. But the next reality is even grimmer. How does Rockstar now rationalize creating GTA 6 with any real substantial single player only package? How does Rockstar rationalize not just melding or merging the single player and online together? I don't know that they do. Is it likely that GTA 6 is an always online multiplayer focused experience? There's certainly a chance. It's not necessarily unlikely. What we do know is that this is also having an effect on how Rockstar releases games and approaches making games. Before GTA 5, Rockstar was getting out new IPs left and right. They were releasing about one game a year. Whether it was Max Payne, LA Noire, Undead Nightmare, Beta Raider, or Midnight Club, there was always something around the corner. Since GTA 5, they literally have not released a single new game in 4 years and what will be 5 years by the time 2018's Red Dead Redemption is released out into the world. This is likely due to two very specific reasons. One, their energies are better focused on monetizing and continually monetizing the tried and true open world franchises of GTA and Red Dead. And two, they simply no longer have an interest in making games like Max Payne or LA Noire because they don't bring in as much money. This is scary because now making games for Rockstar becomes less less about artistry or fun, and more about figuring out how to build a game that can be easily monetized post-release. This is even scarier right now because Red Dead is right around the corner, it is right on the horizon, and we don't know how or in what ways 2K and Rockstar are going to monetize the already $60 experience. We've seen loot boxes drop on the war-ready beaches of Normandy this year in Call of Duty. We've seen Darth Vader be locked in a crate in Battlefront. I don't think we want to see randomized chests falling in front of our favorite virtual cowboys. And I don't think anybody wants to see the single-player adventure of Red Dead take a backseat to whatever the inevitable multiplayer systems within that game turn out to be. The decline of single-player games may not be the death of those games quite yet, but these are the steps from these kinds of taste-making companies that lead us further down that road, that lead us down the road of every game being a $60 free-to-play piece of irony. GTA Online and GTA 5 are two incredibly different experiences despite existing in the same world and coming out of the same box. GTA 5 is a great game with flaws, sure, but a great game nonetheless. GTA Online is an extremely flawed game or experience with more problems than can be redeemed by its very few successes. Again, that's what's so disappointing. GTA 5 is a phenomenal game buried underneath a terrible one, and it's being buried deeper and deeper every single day. Rockstar 2K have begun using GTA Online as their metric for success, their jumping off point for their future. And that isn't good for the gamer, it isn't good for the industry, it only benefits those whose pockets get fatter with each release. Sure, there will be a group of people that recognize these issues and don't go out and buy Red Dead or even GTA 5, but that might be a disservice to what may be the last truly great experiences that we get that aren't fully afflicted by these problems moving forward. In truth, I'm worried. There are a lot of incredibly talented people working at Rockstar, people that know how to make great games. And I'm worried that what those people can do will soon be misused by a publisher that has lost perspective when it comes to their core market. A publisher that through monetization practices killed Evolve, buried 2K18, and moved on from the best of what GTA 5 had to offer. So to Rockstar, I say this, do not let GTA Online be the voice you follow moving forward, because this bubble is going to burst. This microtransaction free-to-play train is already falling off the rails, and it would be a shame for something like Red Dead or GTA to be the straw that breaks the proverbial camel's back. Continue to innovate, continue to push for new IP, for interesting ideas, regardless of how they can be monetized. Continue to at least try to push the medium forward. And 2K, you aren't worth my breath at this point, but I will leave you with this. If you up Red Dead, if you force Rockstar down a path that destroys any of their IPs, you will find a wrath far greater than the gamer you blatantly flick off your shoulders with your recent releases. Well guys, that was it for today's doc, and as always, the start of a dialogue. What do you think of GTA 5 as a single-player package? What do you think of GTA Online? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What do you want to see changed about it in the future? And what do you think about 2K? What do you think about the way 2K is handling Rockstar in their releases? And what are you afraid of for Red Dead, or what do you think is going to happen to Red Dead? Let me know the answers to any of those questions down in the comments below. Let's have a real conversation. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you are not yet a member of this team, press subscribe. I put out gaming analysis, examinations, essays, just like this one, twice, sometimes 3 times a week. So hit subscribe so you do not miss any. And as always, I will link the Patreon in the top pinned comment down below. It's there where you can support the channel even further. Every little bit helps. There is exclusive content on there. So check that out if you want. And I'll also link the Twitter handle, or my Twitter handle, in that pinned comment as well. Follow me there to take polls as to what essays you want to see next, figure out what games I'm playing or see what games I'm playing, as well as just talk about things that aren't necessarily related to what's in the essays. So follow me on that Twitter handle. And as always, thank you. We've come up on, I think we're at almost 150,000 subscribers. This channel is like 6 months old. That's just unbelievable. I don't even know if it's that old. I cannot thank you enough for the support. I cannot thank you enough for the growth. None of this would be happening without you guys. The things I learned from you guys, from your comments, I read almost every single one of them, and I appreciate everything I learned from each and every one of them. And as always, to those of you that didn't like this video or don't like my content, hopefully I can put out something in the future that you do enjoy, that I appreciate your support or you watching either way. Until next time, guys, I'm out.